Now, all magnets have a north pole and a south pole, but not all magnets are marked with the two poles. So how do we find out the poles of a magnet if they are not marked? In this lesson, we're going to show you the different methods of identifying the poles of a magnet. What you will need for this activity is an unmarked bar magnet, a marked bar magnet, a compass, a piece of thread, a piece of styrofoam, and a basin with water. Now, for the first method, we're going to use a compass to identify the poles of a magnet. Take the unmarked bar magnet and place it close to, but not touching the compass. What's happening here is that the point that normally points to the north pole of the Earth is pointing to one end of the magnet. This end of the magnet is actually the south pole of the magnet. Now, this may seem a little confusing, but since the Earth's geographical north pole acts like the south pole to a magnet, this results in opposite poles being attracted. Next, we're going to use the laboratory stand with one end of a thread fixed to it. Take the unmarked bar magnet and tie the other end of the thread around it. After a while, you can tell that one end of the bar magnet is pointing to the north pole, meaning that that end is the north pole of the bar magnet. And the other end of the magnet would be pointing to the south pole, meaning that end is the south pole of the bar magnet. Now leave the hanging unmarked bar magnet as it is, and take the marked bar magnet and bring the north pole of the marked magnet to either side of the unmarked magnet and just see what happens. If the unmarked magnet attracts to the north pole of the marked bar magnet, that means that side of the unmarked bar magnet is the south pole of the magnet. But if you see a repulsion from the unmarked bar magnet, it means that it is the north pole of the unmarked bar magnet. So now, let's use the styrofoam and the basin with water to identify the poles of a magnet. Take the styrofoam and put it in the water, and take the unmarked bar magnet and place it on top of the styrofoam. Observe what happens. You can see that the styrofoam together with the magnet rotates and stops in a particular position where one end of the magnet is pointing to the north pole of the Earth, meaning that it is the north pole of the magnet, and the other end is pointing to the south pole of the Earth, meaning that that end of the magnet is the south pole. So these are some of the ways we can identify the poles of a magnet.